Doesn't that look nice and wet? And weather guessers. It's foggy this morning. I mean, it looks good here, but there's 2 or 3 yard lights I should be able to see up there, and I can't. So it's foggy that way. And yeah, they made a mess. Seems they're trying to tell me something because they kicked all those out. Although, I still see some in that one anyway. I can't tell in the other two. 31 degrees, 30 degrees, 32 degrees. I don't want to shut that off yet. I got to see it come back. No, we just went a week where they kept saying it was going to be, well, it started out as 30, going to be 38 degrees, and we ended up at 30. Okay. That went on for a few days. Then, when it says it's going to be 32 degrees, we end up at 22 degrees. And that went on for a few days. And Ty's leaving to go pick up Blakely, meeting Brooke and Matt at work. So what do you do when they decide to say it's going to be 31 or 32 degrees? You shut all the frickin' water off. And why? So it can be 38 frickin' degrees. I wish they'd figure their job out. I think it was Bryce said something about they're 58% accurate, where the Old Farmer's Almanac is 80%. I remember when the Old Farmer's Almanac was, at least 80%. And the weather guessers, they might have only been 50 or 60% accurate on a 7-day, but on the 1 to 3 day, they could get it down to like 80 or 90%. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna run in the dark and hook water back up this morning, because these guys probably want some. They want some grain too. Well, the 1 to 3/4 bushings came yesterday, so that's what it's going to look like. I'm not sure how I'm going to hold them on yet. However I hold them on is going to dictate how deep in it goes. So I'm going to kind of see. I think everything's probably about 3 inches down from the top. Let's see if I can drop everything on the floor here. And it says the water level will be 1.5 to 2 inches from there. Now I'm 6.5 there, which is going to put the water level at 4.5 inches, and I want it a little higher than that. I'm at 3 inch probably. So I got a little space under that to play with whatever I do to mount them. I'm still kind of thinking about a C-clamp. But then, once you got everything in your hand in front of you and you look, I'm not sure how well a C-clamp is going to fit next to this, because you do want this close to the edge. You don't want it sticking out. But we'll find out. I'll figure something out. I always do. Kind of funny that way. So, I'm going to have to, especially like the cow trough, I'm going to have to take it down to it and do a little handsy-feely looking and see what happens. But at any rate, Ty should be back here pretty soon with Blakely, and I haven't gone in and had breakfast yet, so I think I'm going to head toward the house. Either come back and mess with this, or start on this. By the way, we'll read it upside down. March 20th, or March 2016, that was the 3rd feeder we bought one, figured out what we were doing with it, put it together, put it in, and got them to honor the same deal that was on sale. And then, I don't remember if we bought 2 or if we bought all 3 after that. And yeah, I had them in here for a while. Literally almost a day. Because, you know, they're factory weld. Let's do a little gooby like this stuff. But let's do it, you know. They welded right there. That's my goobers over it, because I didn't take the paint off, and that's nasty paint to weld through. This was like right there, so I put more. And this was just you know, you go like this and the whole thing rattled, because this wasn't enough weld. So there's weld all the way around all the skirts. The joints are bolted, and we got it squared up as best we could. And then everything's welded and put the braces in. And this one's wore clear off, but this had a piece of flat triangle here, which was welded to that half and this half. And then what we've used for feedometers for years, that's plunger railing out of a baler. Harder than a brick bat. And I mean, how many years it's been on there, rubbing on that on the concrete, and it hasn't worn much off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage the 3 that are left on here or not. I mean, they'll probably clean that. But, you know, I'm just so looking forward to how much cutting I got to do. Cut it off flush here and go through and cut all the welds and see how much metal's really left. These are a lot heavier than the end pieces were on that other one. Actually, even in the side pieces on the other. I mean, this might even almost be 16 gauge. Well, it is 16 gauge if you leave the scale on it. But anyway, yeah, all the cutting's what I'm really not looking forward to. Look who's here. Little Miss Snotty Nose this morning.
But she's got a cute little Rudolph.
Yeah.
No, don't hit yourself in the head.
Yeah. Snotty Nose, nice water in. And don't ask what she did.
I chipped the fucking tooth.
Don't know what she did to do it, but she chipped the tooth.
I was eating one of those Nutri-Grain bars this morning on my way there, and it broke.
Nice. Well, she's gonna get some breakfast.
So it's fine.
She's gonna figure out how to file the sharp edge off the tooth. So, oh yeah, the other thing she found was Becky got a package delivered about 8 o'clock last night, apparently. Issue is they must have thrown it from the road into the end of the driveway by the sounds of it.
He took a picture of it in his hand, so I just assumed he was putting it in the box.
Yeah, no.
Becky just said they took the picture
So
of it
he
in
must have
his
pulled
hand.
like this into the top of the driveway and hucked it, because it was trying to go down the embankment to the fence.
Gotta love that kind of crap. So, I figure Becky's gonna get on a computer and make a complaint about that one today.
Oh, yeah, look at
And
that.
look at
Breakfast
that.
of Champions, oatmeal and blueberries.
Oatmeal and blueberries and her little loader fork.
Loader spoon.
Spoon. Okay, she
Not
got
the
a
fork.
fork too.
I think it's...
She's not excited for breakfast too. She is. It won't focus. Right there's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe I should have got longer nipples. I don't know. I figured a 4-inch was going to be adequate. But that clamp, I think, is big enough to... Oh, it may not be deep enough, though. I think it's big enough to go on the cow trough. I need to go check. I know it'll fit on the Rubbermaids, but we got 2. Yeah, the cow trough and the 2-year-old's trough are both the same style. They're the whiter. I don't know if they're Balin or... I think they're Balins. So they're whiter. That looks like it's about right. Just gotta put a spacer in there so you can get the hose on and off, which will raise it a little more. And where it's sitting, get the mighty tape to come back out. They say 2 inches from the bottom of it, so that'd be 3.5 inches from the top of the tank. If I put a 1/2 inch in there, There's space to get to the hose on easier than just be a little fuller tank. Why I hate powder coating. That chunk there, give you an idea how big it is. That's a size 12. That came off of right here. It's all rust and scale. This is the sealed side of it, the uphill side. These are the little tiny spots that was still stuck to something other than the rust that was created underneath it. I got a spot down here that I saved to actually prove, because you can hear it peel off. And what's underneath it? It's all rust. First time I had any dealings with powder coating, we put a nice fancy white picket fence up at the house we had in Banks. And where the gates were, the gate frames were all powder coated. And the first winter, they froze and they plumped, and the powder coating cracked. And by the next winter, I'd already had to replace the metal parts on the gate because they were gone, literally. Because I don't care how good this shit's stuck. If there's any moisture when they put it on, I mean, moisture in the air does it. It's paints a lot better. I mean, those tubes on those gates, that was kind of an exception because obviously the gates weren't made right. They weren't sealed. They weren't heated up good enough before it was, they attempted to seal it anyway. But no, I got all the way around it. Not as much there at the end. This end's probably the worst. So that, and if you have to repair anything that has powder coating in it, it doesn't like to grind off if it is stuck. It doesn't like to peel off. And it's nastier than shit to weld. I mean, I'd rather weld this manure rusted crap all day long than have to weld on something powder coated for 5 minutes. You'll feel better the next day doing this crap. So, yeah, I'm kind of jumping around today. I think I'm going to go to Hobo Freight and see what they have for C-clamps. I looked online. A 3-inch, as long as it opens fully 3-inch, will work. That's what this one is. But it's not deep enough. It needs to be about where my finger is. It needs to be at least another 1/2 inch deeper than this to slip over the cow trough. So, let's see about going to town, maybe. Or not. Becky still has some things I got to move for her, too. Going home. Really should have had my camera home when we were in town. Car blew a red light after half the vehicles already went through in 3 lanes. We don't know how it made it between the front corner of the semi-truck and the curb. And we know the driver of the truck never saw it. There was no way. But here's what our day looks like today. At least it's not raining at the moment.
Just sweating my ass up over your menopause, man.
So, yeah, anyway. Got to go to Hobo Freight. I'm going to remake some C-clamps to make them work. And got a few other things that we needed while we were there.
The most important one was the bucket, though.
Oh yeah, the most important was a Harbor Freight bucket because we all did this as a family outing. So yeah, there's a little person sitting behind me, and Ty took her walking all over the store while Becky and I went and got stuff we
She
needed.
thought she was in the cart, though. She didn't notice them until she was in the cart.
She was in the cart. She decided she had to have a Hobo Freight bucket. So she got appeased, and we got something to carry stuff home in.
Yeah, she kept saying bucket, bucket, bucket the entire time.
Around instead of Warrior, they didn't have much for Warriors. Warriors we've been using. We've got 380s and 260s. See how they do. It says they're twice the life, so yeah, I got a Warrior. That's a. I know it says there. That's an 80. Running out of room in here. We'll make them fit anyway. And those were in the clearance rack, and Ty says, "Oh, cool." So Those are thumb ratchets. Power cutoffs, see how they work. Get them put away. And these will work fine for all the Rubbermaid troughs. Actually, almost overkill for them, but 3 inch was the smallest they had. That's an overkill, so it's going to get cut down. But I need the 3 inch throat and deeper. A little size difference, right? I'm just going to take quite a bit out of that. Got 2 each. What the heck, right? And while we were spending money, my poor old helmet, every now and then, just isn't moving as fast as it should, and it's a small window. That's, what the heck is that? I thought it said on it someplace. I want to say it's a Cobalt. Somebody had it on Craigslist for like $40 or $35, and I told Becky we'll go get it because they were like twice that. And the guy hadn't hardly ever used it. I've had it 5 or 6 years. So we're gonna try this one. It's got a battery in it, but it does still have the solar panel, and it's a bigger viewing area. And I didn't. Yeah, they got their display ones. It's a different headset, which is kind of wonky. Same as what Ty's got in her big fancy $400 helmet. But the window, when it's not darkened, is so clear. Or, you know, it's not hardly tinted at all. Versus this one and every other auto darkening helmet I've ever used. Well, here, I'll show you. Even though it's dirty, it doesn't make a lot of difference. But you know, you don't see a. I'm seeing too much reflection on my end, but I don't know what the heck you're seeing. I'm seeing reflection. So, anyway, let's see how it works. $149, better than $400 or $500, $600 for a lot of them that appear to be the same as this one. Well, there's the finished product. I had to trim a little. I thought it needed to go out farther, and then I set everything up together again and looked and went, no, it looks good. And then, of course, that joint right there, it tightened in the wrong rotation. From here, it tightened at about 1 o'clock. So I had to force it around the rest of the way. That piece of flat is to sit on top of the edge of the tank so it can't do this bit. And I think it's going to work all right. We'll find out. See how this one works, and see what about doing another one. But the other one, I'm going to have to cut one of those other clamps down. Make it work. Because, say, this one doesn't get deep enough on the trough. Doesn't get deep enough over the lip. It won't go over the lip, actually. This way. Well, no, this way. Yeah, it's got to be. This piece would have to be where my thumb is. That's where it was kind of like, you know, do you buy the long ones and cut them down, or do you do these and shorten them up? Or just make my own stuff. But I think this will work out better. These threads should hold up better. They will get smeared good with probably some fluid film. That'll stay on better than anti-seize. Should. But anyway, ready to go. Well, there's with the faucet wide open. We don't usually leave them wide open, so I'm not going to leave it running that way. That's moving a fair amount of water. And I'll turn it back down to about where we usually leave them. I think on the cow's float, it's probably still going to take 2 of them to keep up. But that's a whole lot more water than those little pieces of shit put out. And I've tightened it with the frickin' pliers twice already. It's still dripping. Only bad thing is it drips down on the screw, but you know. I was hoping it was going to fill really fast and I'd show you it stopping, but I'll bring you back. By the magic of video, it's that much fuller. Keep in mind, this is a guinea pig. Hopefully I figured things right, otherwise I'll have to redo it. The factory plastic POS mounts that they have, that will barely fit over, just won't fit over our other troughs. Where this screws on, sets a little lower, not much, I mean it's even with about here. And then it comes up 5.5 inches with an elbow, and it's all plastic. It's like, how well is that going to work out? I'm going to say we're starting to shut off. Let's see what it actually does. I didn't see where my water is over here. Oh, coming around there. I wondered about that. I can still get that a little tighter, I think, without breaking it. It wants to shut off. Can't make up his mind. It's 1.5 to 2 inches from the bottom of the cover. So really it's got like another inch to go. Give or take. There it is. I'm good with that except for that little dribble. See if I can take care of that. While I had it apart, I gave it a little more clearance. And the thing I hate about putting plastic to metal, even plastic fittings to plastic fittings, it's stretched quite a bit. It's on there further than it was. And yes, as a matter of fact, that is RTV silicone. Why? Because I know that'll seal it. I won't put it back on today. That trough's full. It's supposed to freeze in the morning anyway. It can sit right there. I don't care. The next one, I think I'm gonna. My original plan was 1/2 inch in here, and that's a full inch. And I do have a piece somewhere, because I cut that piece in half, so I had 2. I'll just take the other one and cut it in half lengthwise. Then I'll have enough to make 2. I just got to scrounge for some more of that. That's so that it can't rock. I think I already said that, but I don't know. I don't remember what I say. So anyway, find out how well that works tomorrow. In the meantime, I think I got to go put the pallet forks on and grab a couple pallets, because sometime tomorrow, Becky's Christmas present for the next 10 years is supposed to show up. So her and Ty just brought the old washer and dryer outside and put them on the patio. We're going to keep the dryer for now, in case we know somebody that needs one, or turn around and sell it. And the washing machine, scrap it. I can use the metal for something. Depending on what the motor is, if it's actually a sealed motor, which I doubt, I can use the motor for something. You know, always try to keep stuff you can use. Last time I got to pack those up here. They take those tomorrow. And tomorrow they deliver our dumpster. And Wednesday they're going to come and empty it already. Because Wednesday is the day for that, I guess. So they're supposed to pick those up tomorrow along with that little recycle deal. And the thing I'll have to do is every other week bring the recycle cans up when they're full. And yeah, I gotta back up a little and the brake will release and this thing will roll. So, oh yeah, moon's up there if you can see it. I can't see it on the screen. Oh yeah, I can. Middle of the screen. So anyway, you've seen the day. We did not get the 2-year-old separated. You know, I kind of waited all day for Ty to decide when she wanted to do that. There, now it'll roll. And with Blakely not feeling good, you know, kind of screws up the day. Becky's got the pups down here running around. I probably got too much video already, but I'm trying to hurry up and get down there. I can see them, but I don't think you can. And I really didn't want to start this thing and make noise. Stealth mode. She's hogging the puppies so nobody can see them. Balin's over by the door. Bandit's the runner. He will make laps here in the lawn like crazy, and then Ghost and Balin tag team him. So anyway, I'm gonna finish feeding. I'd ride the bike back there, but I gotta get off too many times. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope your Monday was good. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday.